Chicago has become the largest city in the United States to pass a ceasefire resolution. The vote was split 23-23, and the tie was broken by Mayor Brandon Johnson. Now, this is significant as F because the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is going to be taking place in Chicago August 19th through the 22nd. Chicago has put the DNC on notice, with Genocide Joe and Killer Kamala being AKAs thrown around the region. Listen, dog. Don't try to be a hero in Chicago. It's going to get messy, and it's only ramping up. The Chi ain't playing. And if you need proof, just take a look at this.
We need to cancel the DNC. Genocide Joe Biden is not welcome in this city. 26,000 people have been murdered.
That's behind enemy lines, disrupting political playbooks. Talk with the executive director for the Chicago DNC Host Committee, Christy George. And look at that attempt to take down the banner. Oh, my God. He tried it. The person clung to that message, whoever that was. This took place at the Hideout in Chicago, a live music venue in Chicago, and the Hideout caught the online smoke as well. So Mayor Brandon Johnson is the tiebreaker vote in Chicago to pass a ceasefire resolution that may not directly impact the genocide going on in Gaza and the West Bank, but it does go on the record and are shared with state governors and President Biden in a national effort to cut funds the U.S. sends to Israel to commit its current war crimes, genocide, and ethnic cleansing upon the Palestinian people. Okay, Minneapolis passed a similar resolution 9-3 in the city council, with Latricia Vita, Michael Rainville, and Linnea Palmisano voting against it. Palmisano was quoted in CBS News saying, "We're a council that should not level claims on foreign policy matters on which we're not experts," said Ward 13 council member Linnea Palmisano. Palmisano isn't an expert on arsenic, yet she felt compelled to vote to have the depot demoed in the Phillips neighborhood that would have reportedly pushed out more air pollution into the neighborhood. And Phillips might as well be foreign to Palmisano, since I highly doubt she's visited it outside of being in a speeding car driving through it. Palmisano had no problem voting to have the disgraced police 3rd precinct rebuilt in the exact spot it was burned down by the people after the Minneapolis cop murder of George Floyd. That area might as well be considered out of space to Palmisano, seeing she probably hasn't lived near a police precinct since... Is there a police precinct in Ward 13? Ward 13? Ward 13? No? Since she's lived in Ward 13, okay? So the ceasefire resolution passed, and out of nowhere entered Jake Fry. Yeah, the mayor of Minneapolis, who oversaw the police force that murdered George Floyd, decided to veto the resolution. But why? Jake Fry writes, "Any statement coming from City Hall should be built on peace, not on choosing a side. Any city action should be about bringing people together, not causing more division in an already fraught situation." Okay, Jake, there's a genocide taking place, and you prefer to use the phrase fraught to describe that? Let's help out Jake, since his friends seem to be at happy hour. Jake, the word fraught by definition means a situation filled with or likely to result in something undesirable. The genocide taking place in Gaza by the Israeli government has currently claimed more than 30,500 civilians since October 7th, including more than 13,000 children, 122 journalists and media workers, and at least 339 medical staff and 154 UN staff. More than 65,900 people have been injured. In short, more than 100,000 Palestinians have been killed, reported missing, or wounded in Gaza since October 7th. Regardless of how you think a response to restorative action should be to the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israelis, what we're seeing right now, and have been seeing for quite some time, is an ethnic cleansing and genocide funded by the very country of which you are an elected official of. So if the city council wants to join Chicago, Oakland, San Francisco, Detroit, Atlanta, Seattle, Dearborn, Albany, Akron, Providence, and more, then maybe you should address that in your letter of veto against a report titled Ceasefire and Resolution. Jake also points out the resolution chooses a side. Well, that's because there's one side who's experiencing a genocide, having humanitarian aid blocked from entering and being mocked by the very soldiers that have exterminated entire family lineages. Or Jake could take a page out of Rebecca Maurer's book.
Why are we putting Palestinian humanity in the hands of anybody else? Why are there prerequisites before we say we need peace and your community deserves to live? That's the simple version of things. Some say that the destruction of Hamas at all costs, at the cost of the lives of thousands of children and civilians, is worth it in the name of Jewish safety. But everything I have ever learned from Judaism tells me otherwise. I say that Jewish safety is forever intertwined with Palestinian safety, and we can only be safe together.
That's Rebecca Maurer, the only Jewish American member of the Cleveland City Council, which as of today has yet to pass a ceasefire resolution. And while Cleveland City Council President Blaine Griffin says the ancient conflict is nuanced and complicated, here's the recent community reaction. According to WKYC, that's a group of Jewish community members, a rabbi, and many others calling for a ceasefire resolution in Cleveland. I got to be at this meeting in like 2 minutes, but let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Talk to you later.